we easy? All right, thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back. Good morning to you. If you missed the first conversation that Stephanie had with a guest, you'll find it on X and YouTube as well at Y254 channel. Good morning once again. Welcome back. This is the last conversation of the day. In this segment, we are delving into matters career and passion. It takes a lot of discipline to build something for yourself, especially when it comes to being a professional. What exactly goes into it? The discipline, the honesty, the consistency, and also staying in the process. That's what we're talking about. But we'll also talk about passion. What is the difference between career, passion, talent, and skills? And also, how can parents contribute to curating and also morphing a successful Gen Z, for that matter, a youth, who can be a responsible citizen in the society by creating impact that can also not just help themselves, but others as well. And that is the conversation we are delving into. I'll be engaging Stephen Masinde. He's a teacher by profession, alongside Agogo Mkari. He's a youth advocate. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Great to have you right here. Yeah, so let's start off with just what's happening in the country right now. The Gen Zs, most of them are on social media. If you were to borrow what happened during the protests last year in 2024, the complaints and the massive uproar was from Hakuna Kazi, right? Yeah. But then there's something you've told me interesting off the air, but we'll talk about it later. When you look at how we've structured the lives of our young persons right here, what can we do so that we drive them to a place where they're able to find opportunities that are coming from a place of self-initiative and discipline as well? For example, now, like, you know, a person who is a journalist, you've had to go to school, you're a teacher by profession, you're dealing with young minds each and every day. So it means you're shaping them for a future. So how can we do that?
So thank you. First of all, I'm Masinde Stephen, a teacher by profession and sometimes an event MC. So as we begin this, we have to look at this. How can we, like it, if from teacher's perspective, we cannot say that learners can dwell on career more so rather than passion. For example, when I'm in class, I don't tell them, concentrate so that you get a job. Always tell them one thing. This is just but a system of shaping you on how to handle your future. I think that. So when you talk about passion, you nurture this learner. Maybe you have seen, when you talk about youth, our youths were not nurtured at long time. They were like, go to school. When you look at 844 system, it was go to school so that you get a good job. But that one has now gone. It is go to school and be enlightened on how to socialize with people. But the job is follow what your heart tells you.
Interesting that.
Yeah.
Because also right now also people are still going to school to graduate and get jobs. It's not that it's over, it's still happening. And
no, it's happening.
That's the reason
it's happening. As when you
school.
look at statistics, how many people are graduating and are jobless? And how many people haven't stepped in a class and they are earning money? For example, I can tell you for free, I've got a friend who has graduated from KU, but he's now a footballer. He's a player to that is Police FC. He's a graduate, but he said, no, I cannot do economics. Let me follow what my heart wants.
Yeah, so he followed his dream or his passion. Or he was talented.
He is talented. Yeah. It was hobby. It was a passion. All those. So when you incorporate these things, they make this person more joyous and happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So in short, there's a difference between passion and talent, but all of these things require skill for you to pursue. So maybe you can talk about the difference between a talent and a passion.
So when you are talented, if I'm talented in drawing, but if I don't have that passion of following it, the talent will diminish. I think. So passion and talent go hand in hand.
Yeah.
We cannot just say, I have a passion doing this, and maybe you are not talented, or I'm talented in playing football, and you're not making sure that these come into reality.
Yeah. Let me jump to Mr. Agogo. Kari. When you look at what Mwalimu Stephen has just pointed out, talent and passion, but I tend to hold a belief that maybe a passion could possibly not earn you monetary benefits unless it's laced with now a skill that now can help you propel the talent, and then you end up creating a forte or a profession. What do you make of the same?
Thank you so much, Mr. Sakwa. For this opportunity, of course, to delve into, matters youths, which, youths are the majority, as you look at the, the statistics, youth stands at 70% of, this, country. And just a recent report that was, shared by, Kenya Demographic and Housing Census report, that is 2019 report. Remember that 38.9% of youths were jobless, and with that is close to 8.5 million youths who are jobless. So this forced these young Kenyans to delve into skills, things that they love, they can do with passion. You see, so you see the challenge here is the systemic challenge, systemic gaps that have always been there. Talk of political instability, talk of things like corruption. So it is even good that we are privileged that we have a teacher here with us, and he will tell us. So you find that in many circumstances now, as we speak, we've moved from 844 to CBC, which is curriculum based on the skills. So not unless we try and fix the systemic challenges, it will be still a grapple, something that we'll still be working on without achieving our target. So you find that even as a young one, when you start from the CBC level, once they're done with school, once they're done with college, if someone is passionate, if someone has a skill, if someone is talented, when the system hasn't been fixed, talk of policy, harsh policy, there isn't 2024 amendment tax that is 15% on the content creators. So imagine you have a youth or maybe a young one who is passionate on, or maybe who has a skill on the content creation. Right. Most of them are into blogging, most of them are content creators. So if you don't have, if some of these policies, if some of these strategies haven't been fixed, then that can tell you how, as a problem, or rather a challenge that as a country we are in. And of course Kenyans are the majority. So this is something that we as we try to look at the passion and the skill, what we call the career. We should look at both ends so that we can have an end-to-end in between the youths, who are the majority, and of course the key stakeholders, say now the government in this place, who are coming up with these policies. Okay,
I wanted you to respond to, you can be passionate about something, yes, but unless it's accompanied by a skill that can make you now act on it and become a profession that can lead to monetary benefits or beneficiary.
Yeah, exactly.
But then now with our youth, all of us are youth anyways. I don't believe in one of us is 50.
True, true.
You have to train yourself to be disciplined, in a sense that you have to look for a path that you're passionate about now, and then with that skill, you incorporate in it, and then you train yourself and become an expert or a professional in that area. And that's how maybe you're able to earn money. So do you believe maybe this is what our youth in this country are lacking? Identifying what you're good at, and then working on that skill and perfecting it, and then becoming a professional. And now that you've mentioned the education gap, you're still mentioning the gaps in the education sector as well.
Yeah, so remember at some point, this systemic challenge, when you see, like, we can't leave it alone to our parents. Say if you're passionate about something as a young person, if it hasn't been spotted at early stages, it becomes a challenge for this young person who is passionate about a skill or maybe a talent. If it has not been supported, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So Sakwa, you're talking about a skill. First of all, you have to ask, where do you get these skills from?
Are you born with skills, or do you learn skills?
You learn the skills. You are born with a talent. but the skill, you get it from a system. For example, we take it an education system. That's where you get skills. But now when you talk about the skills and passion, then we incorporate a talent into it. I'll tell you, it's not that the skill, you must have skills. There are so many people, photographers, there are so many people who can get good pictures. It's not a skill.
It's a skill.
It's a passion this person had, and he built
I
on it.
dismiss you on that point because I'm a journalist and
It's
you
fine.
learn photography. It's a
Thank
skill.
you.
So
It is a skill from your perspective, but as the
No,
look
it's a
of things
skill.
now, as the look of things now,
let's go
there
with
is-
it's a skill.
it's not. For me, it's not a skill.
Okay.
Professionally, it's a skill from you. But from the look of now,
So you
the
believe
life
anyone
of a
can
Gen
just
Z
pop up
or a
and-
youth,
yeah.
from the
Okay.
life of Gen Z, where these now, the what you call financial constraint has taken this person, and this person has been seeing you taking photos, following you.
They had to learn the skill and art of taking
They
photos.
had that what motivation.
So they learned the skill of taking photos with their mobile phones.
Eh,
Okay.
Maybe to interject, Sakwa. First, remember, for you to, if you're a photographer, if you're a blogger, if you're a footballer, say in that case, there's that aspect of passion, loving it.
Yeah.
You have to love it first. You have to develop some interest in it. That's when now you start
And
doing
then
it.
you learn
effortlessly.
how to do it, right?
How will you learn
Yeah.
it?
What is that? It's a skill.
How will you learn it?
I'm a middle
let's-
listener.
What's the skill?
Let's take a practical.
As a teacher, what is a skill?
See, I'm asking because
No, you are
I'm
the
telling
teacher
you,
here. You should
Because
not be asking me
when
questions.
we
I
talk
should be
about
the one
skills,
asking
they are
you.
learned. Okay?
Yes.
It's a process.
And you
of
learn
learning.
how to do
But
it,
when you
right?
talk about now, becoming a passion is the one that will make you to have the experience. Let us not talk about the skills now.
Okay.
The experience. When I come to you, not once, not twice, not thrice, 10 times, I'm just following you. I'm seeing what you're doing. Have been with you for how long? 10 good years. Eh?
Let me
Seeing
ask
what
you,
you're
were you employed as a teacher because of passion or because of a skill that you're offering at the institution where you work?
Myself, it's passion. I was
Were you employed because of passion, not a skill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can have skills, but you don't have passion. Like in education, don't compare education with another thing. I can go to school, have skills, I can teach, right? But when I go to class, it's a mess.
Okay, I get your point. Anyways.
I think when it talks of like passion and skill in teaching, you see also as a teacher or just any other profession, you can balance in between the two. You can be good in something, maybe talented, or maybe you're gifted, or just out of passion, and at the same time also a profession in that line, and balancing. The best example is Churchill. Churchill is doubling in between. He's a comedian and running the Churchill show, and at the same time a media personality. So we also have a perfect example of a footballer, Michael Olunga, who is a professional. Is an engineer by profession, and also what? Just a minute, and also a very skillful footballer. So for these two, as you can see, one has decided to follow his passion, something that is good at, and something that he does effortlessly without struggle. And the other one,
that's literally like talent. Yeah.
Exactly, talent. Of course, passion and talent. I'm a best example. I would say that as a youth advocate, I'm a nutrition by profession.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a nutritionist, advocating issues, food advocacy, and just strengthening the food system in the urban and rural setup. I have a perfect example of a friend in Viwandani who is so passionate and has a skill in designing, coming up with the kitchen urban farming. He's so good at that. He learned it nowhere. It is just something that he developed out of passion and love in it. If you go to Viwandani, you won't believe Sakwa. So at this point, it is just a matter of our parents. We need to also change the behavior change because our parents. At some point, you could tell your parent that you want to be a DJ. You could tell your parent that you want to be a photographer. You could tell your parent that you want to be a blogger. He could look at you and say, this one is a failure.
So
the
question
you could only talk of,
here,
maybe a law or something. So
yeah.
Malimu must tell us.
I've had a Google talking about Olunga, mixing football and engineering. So my question comes, between engineering and football, what is making Olunga now?
It is
So
the-
we have to come to that point.
It is the passion.
And now we get to see, is the
It's
passion,
the passion, the skill,
making
the
Olunga
talent.
to be Olunga?
Olunga.
But the word engineer just came when Olunga has just built the name out of the passion for himself.
Yes.
So when Nisako is telling me what we can do, it's the passion that is creating Olunga to be Olunga. It's not the career, neither is the skill. This passion, this guy loved soccer when he's young.
Maybe Mwalimu, what was not clear is I meant if you want to execute, for example, you're a teacher, you said you teach Swahili and religion. In fact, you corrected me when I said CRE, yes?
Yeah.
You had to literally learn how to teach, right? Or you just out of the blues popped out of high school and went to the higher learning institution, and because of passion you got vested in you had to learn how to teach, right? So that was the skill now, and then you are a professional by that because you have the skill of teaching. So you disseminate education, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's
So
that's
the
maybe
skill-
what you didn't understand.
but the main
but I'm
thing-
not disputing your point about passion, because you have to have passion, and then it translates with talent now, and then now when you follow it, you have the skill of executing what you're good at. Even dancing, it's a talent. You have to learn the skills of break dancing, like the best dancer Chris Brown in the world. It's a skill. So I was not disputing a point. Maybe that was not clear. Hope you've gotten it. Yeah, you are burning with something.
Yes, Saka. So Mwalimu is a perfect example. It's only that he's not coming out to tell us. You see, Mwalimu has mentioned that he's an MC at some point. Yeah. He has also tell us how he's a tutor. You see, so he's balancing in between the two, passion and career. You see, but also remember which one pays the best. Yeah. So he will tell you that it's due to also what I mentioned as we started, systemic gaps. Why has Mwalimu decided to balance between MC and teaching? Yeah, you will be able to tell us.
Why have you decided to do that?
When you talk of CBC, is CBC implementable? Because you see, that is where we are heading, and in the 31st century, we are hoping that in the near
Let me respond to let me respond to your question. When you look at as now they said, look at the CBC core competencies, 7 of them. I'll pick one thing: collaboration and communication. Then you have imagination and creativity. I think so. When you talk about creativity, you can do different things from what you've been doing. You creative. You imagine you do things that is different from the ordinary thing. So when I'm just there saying, maybe this emceeing never just came when I went to class. The emceeing came once. I was given an opportunity at a certain graduation, and I did it. So
you nailed it.
I did it. Then from there, I've just been
it gave you the
calls.
confidence
I've been
of
receiving
pursuing
calls.
more.
Hey bro,
Right?
where are you? Can you come and help me here? So I've been doing
they
it.
They loved how you did it.
Yeah, but I never expected. I was just, let me try.
Oh, it was a part of you that you had never explored, and you didn't know that you'd do it.
Yeah.
All right, amazing, impressive, okay.
So
and you've been receiving calls for it here.
Yeah.
But now let's return it back to the Gen Zs. When you look at what the Gen Zs want in terms of something that could give them an opportunity to gain monetary value or even make progress as a career, as a forte, many a times it's the issue of unemployment. But then you guys have rightly painted a panoramic view. What are you doing individually to start something that can put you ahead? Yes, the government cannot employ everyone, but there's people who are talented in the sports. You've given an example of Michael Lunga. He's still doubling up as an engineer. There's singers. You've said TikTok. A lot of youth are actually diversifying and getting to those platforms. So when it comes to, let me get to you, Mr. Gogo. When it comes to Gen Zs starting something for themselves, does it mean that maybe they need to be taught how to discover things that they are good at so that they can pursue and not solely depend on what Mwalimu said? You get to high school, finish, go to campus, get certificate, and apply for a job and expect for a call. Do you believe it's possible that we should ensure that they get into that mindset and space, and also cultivating maybe environment where you're able to learn, you know what, I can sing. I'm 5 years old, I can sing. Let me perfect my vocals. By the time I'm 15, I'm already performing in front of people. By the time I'll be 20, I'm the best singer in the whole entire world, and I'm making money like Burna Boy, who's just been here this past weekend.
And they received 128 million
Mhm.
just within some
There
minutes,
you go.
right?
There you go. Go.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Sako, once again. Remember, as I started, I gave a statistics that 38.5%. That is according to Kenya Demographic and Housing Census report of youths who are unemployed. That is close to 8.5. That's about 8.5 million then.
Mm.
And looking at things from where I sit and also from where you sit, and as a country, the situation seems to be worrying and worsening day by day. And talking of the Gen Z APRO and the Gen Z protest, it was in the public domain that the issues that were the issues that were pressing the youths and the Gen Zs. Yes.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So sorry for that hiccups. Yeah, the issues that were pressing the youths and the Gen Z and the youths at large are issues of unemployment, issues of hopelessness, and they're like, where do we run to?
In fact, there's drug abuse.
And
now.
there's also
It's
drug abuse,
intense,
of course,
yeah.
which gets in, of course,
And mental health
and
issues,
mental
yeah.
health issues. So now, this is a young Kenyan who has passion, or maybe who is skilled and talented in certain area. As we speak now, everyone wants to be on social media. I was making fun,
which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. I was making fun of my friend that even my dad at 60 would always reach out to me asking me, hey, my son, how can I join TikTok? You see, that can tell you an old man wants to join TikTok. And you see now the youth and the Gen Z wants to be in the social media space. Now someone wants to start. For you to even have just a podcast, for you to have a strong media platform, in the social media space, you are a media personality. You can confirm to this that you need gadgets, you need the machines, you need a proper phone, you need a proper camera,
which the Gen Zs are good at. In fact,
which they are good at. But then for them to purchase these gadgets, you need something. You need some income to start this this podcasting thing, or rather being a content creation. But then now, if someone who is starting, you talk of 15% taxation to this young person who is starting. You see that's where I think we get it wrong, and also as a government.
Yeah. But do Gen Zs really don't know do they know who they are in terms of identity? Like, so for you, Agogo, you are a youth advocate, you are doing content, you're passionate about advocacy. That means you've identified something that you're good at it. It's part of your identity. So if you looked at the larger population, would you say they already know who they are so that they can pursue it? There's a sense of being unaware, and you just got up in a miasma of me, I'm just living. When it gets better, let it get better. When it gets worse, we'll figure out how it goes. Do you believe Gen Zs don't know who they are, and that's why they are unable to build a sensible career?
The Gen Zs and youths at large of this country are well informed and educated. Saying that they don't know what they have, that's an insult. I would call it an insult. They know what they want, and they know where their strength and skills are. So it's just a matter of coming up with policies that are favorable, taxes that you see now. We talk of 15%. We should have a balance in between, so that we can consider between the government and the youth, so that we don't have punitive tax to this to these content creators.
I know you're
something else
to say
before Mwalimu comes in. Before Mwalimu comes in, when you talk of the Hustler Fund. Hustler Fund, someone who is starting, you are given like 500 or 1,000 shillings. So you see, that one is not sustainable.
But who is the Hustler Fund intended for, anyways?
It's
a question that can be answered
yes.
at some point. Yes. But yeah, Mwalimu, what do you want to say?
The thing is, you are telling me, as the Gen Zs, do they know who they are?
Yeah,
these people, they are aware of themselves. We are aware of ourselves. That's why you see us fighting for what we want. A Gen Z doesn't need handout. A Gen Z needs a platform. Right? When you talk about digital platform, this is what now Gen Z are coming to. Because of because of unemployment in our country, whereby the government cannot maybe fend for the youth, population which is now bulging day in, day out.
But there's the private sector as well, the NGOs.
Even if the private sectors are there, but they cannot feed the unemployment in Kenya. So the thing is, what we can do, it is expand the digital platform for youth to engage in any other thing. Because when you talk about freelancing, I have a friend, a good friend of mine called Boniface Owino. He's my colleague. This guy, we do teach with him. At the same time, he's freelancing. Are you seeing now? So this guy, every time, he cannot say that I don't have money or I'm unemployed. Yeah. So another thing is what you call the role models.
Yeah. Actually, maybe that's what I wanted. Maybe there are not enough role models.
No, look at
to motivate this Gen Z.
So what made
so that
me
they build careers
what
like
made
you?
me at least what made me to go to maybe perception of MCing. I have a friend, MC JC. He's a good guy. He's a comedian, and at the same time, he's
You look up to him?
No, I do look up to him, but I just give myself. When I see him doing his things, I say, wow, this is now where I go. So when I have that
So he's
feeling,
sort of like a model to you.
yeah, when I see that, when I have that feeling, the next day I say, if I'm given such an opportunity somewhere, I'll do, even if it's not the same, but at least nearer him. So when we take things in that perspective, we will not dwell on our careers. That's the thing.
So in short, even what you're trying to say when you're teaching, because you say you're a junior, you said you're a junior high. You're a
junior
high.
school, you do say
Junior school, yeah. So what you're teaching these kids, you're not teaching them to be career oriented, but you're teaching them to be
self-sustainable. They have to be self-sustainable. That's why you have the CBC, competency-based curriculum, whereby we cannot go to class. We don't look at the theory. We look at the practical skills. Whereby now, they have now returned the music part. I think you never did music. You never did art. You never did PhD, that is physical health education, in your primary level, but they are doing it. We have pre-technical, whereby now these skills, or the learner that has got passion in something can be given the direction how to cultivate it.
So you'd say it's a saving grace, the CBC. At least it's going to help young people to discover what they're good at more
when we look
practical than theory.
Yeah, right? When we look at the what CBC was intended to do, it is practical. It is what you love doing. It's not what the teacher is planting in you.
Yeah.
So because 844 was, when I get A, I'm a hero. You could see we have won. People are being carried. But now when you look at CBC, it's what can you do? Because the core competence of the CBC by itself, we have learning to learn. So the learning to learn is broken into 4.
I like that.
Learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live with other people. I think now how we're doing. How is this youth, or how is this young one being nurtured to live with people,
with the community around them?
How is this young man is being nurtured or learning to be what he wants or she wants to be? I think then how is this learner being taught how to know? You know, you can know, but you cannot execute. So CBC is now incorporating these. You have to know first, you have to be, you have to know how to live with others.
Yeah, I love that. Good things coming out of the CBC.
Allow me to interject, Bwana Sakwa. I think it's good to know that, and as I mentioned before, it's even a privilege to have Mwalimu on the set. Yeah, so I think if I quote you right, I did mention that the CBC was meant to be. So the big question could be is CBC implement, like is it being implemented like when you talk of say now if you go to from outside town, outside the town, the urban setup, and say now you go to places like Turkana or even my rural home where I come from. Yeah, do you think it's working? Yeah, as it was intended to be, because that's the word that Mwalimu has used that it was intended to be.
Okay.
Is the intention working? Maybe Malimu can tell us. And also maybe just something else. If say now it's something that it's a skill-based, sorry. If something is skill-based, it means that based on the you know, you are gifted and the ability that you have, an art or something. Yeah. So does he feel, from where he sit as a teacher, as a tutor, does he feel like, you know, the systemic, him as a teacher there, he has you know, identified a talent, he has identified a gift from a child. Rather from a learner. Nowadays they call them learners. Yeah? Does he feel like maybe at some point with the systemic you know gaps that we have, will this child really you know explore his or her potentials in this case?
Malemu, that's a good one.
So when you talk about the CBC, the problem, sincerely speaking, the problem is the infrastructure, and not that it is not working. It is working, but the infrastructures are not there. Yeah. So, for example, where I sit, as in where I do teach, right? We are doing it because the infrastructure have been put in place. So this learner is being nurtured correctly, knowing that, let me now do this because I don't want to be employed by so and so in future. I want to be so and so in future. Are you saying now?
So I want to become a personality and not a career-oriented personality.
Thank you. So that is what we are doing. So when this person comes out with that mentality, the issue of unemployment in Kenya will be done.
Will be eradicated.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can put a cap on CBC working or not working and the rest. Let's focus back to career. I believe if you have to successfully achieve a certain vision and dream, you start off by maybe building small blocks and then you walk through that very slowly until you get there. So maybe it's important as well for setting career goals. Do you believe even these Gen Zs have some sort of like, you know, ambition of where, you know what, I want to be the best content creator, like, you know, Flacco, who came out with these, you know, vines and whatnot. He started by at least doing something. And when you listen closely and even watch his interview, he'll tell you, I never imagined myself to be on big platforms. In fact, I used to do this and that and it never worked. But eventually he envisioned himself to be there. So maybe what is the importance of setting career visions and goals that will strategically drive you to where you want to be now as a professional, not as a CBC teacher or a learner in a CBC classroom somewhere?
So the goals, first of all, when you set goals and targets, the one of these will make you to be on toes. It will make you to focus where you want to be. For example, when you say Flago did it, right? He said, no, I want to be this. I think if now this person has that in mind, I want to be this. He kept on doing it. Well, look at the inventor of a mobile phone. Let me start by that. This guy never said, I will come up with the iPhone 30 what. He never did that. But he said, I want to be the best producer or the best inventor of the phone. He tried how many times? 1,000 times. And he failed. But that is 999 times. The 1,000 times he came up with a good mobile phone. So he had what? A goal. He was seeing where to go. It was not from just, let me just do it. So before anything, you must have, you have to train yourself. You have to set up your mind first. Yeah.
Yeah, as a teacher, by the way, did you envision yourself to be a teacher? Is this something you had dreamt about when you were younger, or you wanted to be?
So teaching, it's like I saw my father. My father, there's my dad has been a teacher for 31 years. So
it's a family affair.
No, not a family affair.
In the family.
So I was seeing him then.
Yeah.
They're his friends, learners, were like, hey, Mwalimu, how are you? When they come, they used to pump my father with praises. You made me to be this. You made me to be this. So it kept on growing in me. So when I finished Form 4, I was called to go back to my former primary school. That is a school in rural area. I went and taught Swahili. So when I taught Swahili, the teacher also told me, young man, you do and pursue Swahili and another because you cannot do Swahili as a subject only. So it's a why. You do it, you can do it. I've seen you. I think. So, so after going there, and then I said, I want to be like Mr. Okumu. That was my Swahili teacher. He was having good
Not
Swahili.
like that again.
So
being
Kiswahili
showered.
came in. When Kiswahili came in,
Uh-huh.
I said, now let me have someone that I can emulate. My dad was a teacher. So the teaching came. But now I narrowed down. I want to be a teacher. But in which?
Yeah, that's what I had asked. Had you envisioned yourself to be? So you could have just said yes. But thank you for the story. It's an amazing story.
Sakwa, Mwalimu just alluded that and confirmed to us that teaching, passion, it was not something that he intended to do. It was because of his father, yeah. And it is when he's realizing now that he's a good MC, you see. So that alone, you see, that alone is a practical example.
It's not
that of course, just a minute, just give me, just allow me some time. So that can tell you how, the skill set, the passion, and the talent, part of it, when well nurtured and spotted at an early stage. My only worry is that the key custodian in this place, who should nurture and who should identify this talent, is with us, in this set. So I'm only worried about the young ones there. So is this something that should start also from the approach? I think the strategic approach should our teachers also be like kind of be sensitized, kind of just kind of
be informed,
be informed, so that so that from the word go, even the person who is pro CBC,
to respond to
from the word go, they can have
Hajamaliza
that.
hata
Let me just
kuongea
finish.
bado.
Let me just finish.
Okay.
So that the person, the person who is taking us, and as parents back at home, you know very well that once your kids, left at home, they are in.
But the way teachers are second parents.
Exactly. So they must, because you see,
Mwalimu.
you can give Mwalimu,
no,
and
let me
at the end of the day, you find that even Mwalimu is not, does not have that, the career,
Look at
aspect
this.
of it. But then he's just passionate about it.
Right.
Could be there as a teacher, but maybe he loves football, or
I
maybe
get your point.
MC.
I get your point.
Agogo has
Okay.
just reminded me of this saying, charity begins at home. The goals does not begin at school. It's from the family.
Yeah.
The parent has the role to play
Right.
to the growth of the child. So when you say that a teacher can make this learner to have goals, the goals will begin with you. You and my son or daughter. This is what we have to go. A teacher will only just but back you up. As Sako has just said, is a second parent. You're the first parent is you as a parent, a father, a mother. What are you trying to make your daughter or son to be? For example, you have seen your child is kicking some plates when he sees around the room, kicking plates. They say, wacha kuharibu vitu. Are you seeing that? That child might be a footballer. Are you seeing that? You can see your child having screwdrivers. Then when he sees something like a socket, he tries, wacha kuharibu. That child can be an engineer. Are you seeing now where parents are losing the direction? So you have to sit down with this learner and try. Because I have a learner who can now take a remote control of a subwoofer, then connect to a TV. It controls both of them. So when you now you want to make this learner to refrain from that, where are we heading to?
Just before you respond, Mr. Gogo,
Yes.
maybe if in this modern day age and time, I think it's easier for the parents right now, millennials and Gen Zs, for them to accept if a child tells them, you know what, me, I want to be a dancer because I've identified some certain dancers that are doing it big, they're featuring in artists who are famous in their music videos and they're making money. It could be a possible discussion that a parent can have with their child and say, you know what, let's identify a dancing school tukupeleke, and then later on we'll see if it can give you opportunities that are, accompanied with monetary benefits. But way back, if you were to tell your dad or your mom, you know what, me, I want to be a DJ, nikuwe nikicheza from clubs to clubs, they'll rebuke you
The joker.
and they'll take you somewhere to be prayed for and be exercised.
Sure.
But right now, such avenues and arenas are literally making millions. DJs are making lots of money even than people who are sitting in corporate spaces 9 to 5. But also, I understand your point, and also understand your point as well, where the parents are coming in to cultivate an early seed that will lead this child to develop. But then when it comes to now building say professional careers and becoming an expert, like for you, what you do, you're a youth advocate. I don't know if you've gone to school to learn about being a youth advocate. It's something that you just developed passion outside even what you studied. I'm 1000% sure of that. Do you agree or you disagree?
I agree. I agree.
And now, when it comes to the Gen Zs as well, should they be focused on, because most of them are in universities, and Mwalimu, you alluded to thousands are churning out, are being churned out of these higher learning institutions. They're expected to get into workspaces and get jobs. So maybe what is the possible solution now that people don't want to be employed anymore? In fact, most Gen Zs don't want to be employed, and if they have to work remotely, because they're talking about workspaces are toxic, managers are micromanaging them. Those who are quitting, in fact, last week we were having a conversation on how Gen Zs are quitting in workspaces. They are quitting loudly. They're recording videos and saying, you know what, this job, I hated it because there's a manager who used to abuse me, you know, the conditions here are unbearable. They're quitting loudly. But then how can we make them accept to start building professionals and follow that path until, you know, you develop other skills that can help you make money? Aside from, you know, starting TikTok right now, is it a long-term career goal if you look at that?
Yes, so Sakwa, first I think what should come into our mind is we should ask ourselves, where's the problem? Like, why would someone, why would a graduate just go to school for 844, and then now once he has graduated, he's like, me, I want to venture into digital space. Why would someone do that? So I think that those are some of the small questions that we need to ask ourselves. So once we get answers to this, then I think now it can be easier for us. So number one, you realize that not that career jobs are bad, they are good, but then it's only that remember when I mentioned about the systemic gaps that we have as a country. So someone would go to school and is like, we've seen graduates who've gone to school and they're like, he has not earned a living through something that he went to school to study.
And it's happening to a large majority.
And it's happening to a large majority who are the youths. So from that, someone would say that, based on what I have passion in, if it's I have a friend comrade who just from nowhere decided to be a content creator, and of course being in the Mr. and Miss the creative industry. He decided to delve into that because he realized that maybe the job industry is not suitable for him, for this person. So the only thing that we need to do, maybe the only thing that we need to ask ourselves is coming up with measures or maybe strategies that can help us address some of these gaps. You see?
Maybe just to hold on right there, is it because maybe they're losing interest in pursuing what they studied for, or maybe because you're mentioning system a lot, the system everywhere, the argument is system.
Yeah, sure.
Is it because maybe they lost passion in what they wanted to pursue thereafter? They just observed and assumed, you know what, I hear people are struggling to look for jobs, me, I don't want to tarmac, but maybe just a little step into it would have made you hack that big job. You never know. You could have been the best, expert on the market thereafter.
Sure, Sakwa. So number one, it's that aspect of young person, or maybe of youth, giving up, before that time comes, because you see now that aspect of just persistency, just looking for it. You try, you knock this door, you knock the other door, and you keep on trying. You're trying also volunteering, but then you see we also give up so easily. I would say that as youths, we give up so easily. So you see that aspect of a young of a young Kenyan giving up. He will be like, why would I struggle knocking doors, and yet I'm good at something? Let me try to pursue this. You see, let me try to pursue, even if it's content creation, or maybe writing, or maybe blogging, or maybe photography in this case. So that's where now the difference comes in, because of the you know, the hearsay that outside there tamaking, you know, even if you try, no one would absorb you in that case. So if someone, you know, if a graduate...
So they, in short, Gen Zs are not trying and pushing harder. In fact, there's a saying that says
yes.
Gen Zs don't want to trust the process. They want the process to trust them so that they get what they want.
So which process in this case? It's the system that I was talking about. So like...
the process is the system.
The system.
That you have to beat it before you hack it,
Before you hack it.
Okay,
so,
I get your point.
Which takes time.
And Gen Zs
most
don't
of
want
us,
that.
Gen Zs and youths,
I'll attack you, Mom.
there is that aspect of impatience in it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Sakwa, when you're talking about this, I've listened to my friend Agogo here talking about maybe finishing school and not looking for job. This mentality, first of all, we have to come up and this mentality of the political class. Are you seeing that? So the political class have created something in these youth, making them not to look for what they learn for. For example, you just look at the reason after the Gen Z's demonstration, what did the government do? They only appointed one Gen Z as a CS. That's CS for water. I think that out of how many? And how many were recycled? I think now this one brings a Gen Z to look at the perspective of, so what am I doing? If the government cannot bring in fresh blood.
Can I interject?
Yeah. So I'm finishing that. Number two, the Gen Zs have looked at what it fulfills him or herself, the self-fulfillment. I think that this person, when he works, he gets a job like on digital content creation, YouTubing. Are you saying that? Yeah. This person he will find flexibility in his or her own job. He's flexible remotely. It's not like I'm in office. You have to be in office. You have CCTVs everywhere. Eh? So when you go out, you are cold. So this Gen Z youth wants flexibility. I can do this, at the same time I do this. I bring these things to be together. Right. Then another thing, I do this thing because when I do it, I will be happy. I'm not just doing this thing because when I do it, I'm making someone to grow more than me.
But you're being paid at the end of the month.
Yeah, you are being
Is
paid.
It not part of the reward?
It's a reward, but look at this. Most of these jobs or careers, they're making mental health is coming because of stress, because of too much pressure to these people. Okay, you want me to do this?
Gen Zs don't want pressure.
Yeah, the Gen Z, but then they want pressure, but sometimes it should be limited.
Or pressure from them, not others.
no, it's they need pressure, but it should be limited. But when you look at the system in our now scenario, Kenyan scenario, the job that we are likely to find. There are more of strenuous. You're talking about if the government...
Are they Gen Z type kind of jobs as well?
No, when you talk about creating jobs for Gen Zs, some have a degree, maybe. I go and work as a mjengo man. I'm carrying a lot of
bricks
to the 6th floor. Maybe they are not using 6th floor. What will happen the next? Will this thing motivate a youth to go to school so that he looks for a job? No, he will go to school to be creative, okay? Yeah. To know what to do.
And that is the sermon from CBC.
Sakwa, I don't know if Malim is aware that even the mjengo that he's mentioning, you see nowadays, even to find that mjengo, you must have some connections.
You must look for it. Yeah.
You must look for it, and you must have some connections.
That's what we are being told.
It is not what it used to be. That you just wake up today and maybe
nowadays
the
even
look for you.
You have to search and apply from Mjengo.
To apply from Mjengo. Imagine the odd and off job that maybe the young the youths maybe could easily engage into. Yeah. So just maybe a quick one to run into the appointment of Waziri, as he puts it.
Actually, maybe in 40 seconds, because we are exiting on that note.
Exactly. So you see, at a time, we cannot, we can only have one prime minister, one president, in this case, one MP, one CS in each and every docket. You cannot absorb all these people in this docket. How many youths do we have? How many Gen Zs do we have? So the only thing that is key here is to try and fix some of these policies and strategies that the government have in place, so that the Gen Zs and youths can be absorbed.
I actually loved this conversation. We have to close it right there. Maybe we can have a part 2 in future, but I believe we've exhausted at least. So you guys can say where people can get to interact with you, other Gen Zs, if they want to inquire about Mwalimu in a half a second, very fast, loudly.
Okay, you can give me Masinde Facebook, and have a page, MC Shibuyu.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, you can find me on social media, X, TikTok, X, IG, and Facebook as Agogo Mkare. Yes, food advocate, and of course youth. So passionate about issues revolving around youths.
All right, thank you guys. This has been a riveting conversation. I actually loved it. We can have a part 2, but in future. Thank you so much. Stephen Masinde, a teacher by profession, alongside Gogo Mkare, youth advocate, passionate about so many things as well, alongside Mwalimu. And we're gonna say what? Thank you so much for watching us. From exactly 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll absolutely see you tomorrow bright and early at Y254 channel at Bransa Corner 1. See you tomorrow.